Hi everyone, Nick Casamassimo here, hope all is well. Today I wanted to talk about a good top-tier buyer's agent and what to look for, specifically 9 things to look for. So I'm going to get straight into it. Here we go. Okay, number 1. So you want to be able to hire a buyer's agent who's full-time, not part-time. I mean, that goes without saying because full-time agents kind of tell you implicitly that they're all in, that they love what they do, that they're really good at what they do, because guess what? If they aren't, they're not going to make any sales and they're not going to be able to make a living. So if they are doing another job, that means that they aren't cutting it as an agent. So it's really important to ask them and be upfront and honest and say, hey, are you a full-time agent? And if they say no, run away, find somebody else that is, because there's going to be a lot of time-sensitive things that you need an agent ready to pounce and address. And if they're working another job, there's going to be a delay. So number 2 is first impressions. When you meet with your buyer's agent, they better be neat, clean, well-groomed. They better exude confidence with eye contact, with a firm handshake. And if you get in their car when they're driving you around to see properties, their car better be washed, better be clean inside. Because guess what? If they don't take pride in themselves, they're not going to take pride in the business transaction of real estate. So keep that in mind. So number 3 is your buyer's agent must be a fantastic listener. You know, listen, there are therapists out there, counselors that spend countless amount of time in getting training on listening. It makes sense that a buyer's agent must listen intently. You know, they're going to ask you initially a couple of questions, a bunch of questions actually, to find out what you consider your perfect property. But there is a time to ask questions and there's a time to just be quiet and listen. Okay, so number 4, your agent must be a master in finding property. So number 1, they can find property on their MLS. So they should be a master in doing really good, narrow, fine-tuned searches that identifies really great properties for a buyer. They need to have access to pocket listings, and they also need to be able to, they also should be able to get their hands dirty and knock on doors, because if you like a particular community, it doesn't hurt for an agent to start knocking on doors and say, hey, listen, I legitimately have a buyer that's interested in your neighborhood. Would you be willing to sell it? And I can't tell you how many agents are scared to knock on doors, but it's essential, especially if you're working with a client that has a specific neighborhood in mind. Number 5 is your buyer's agent must be honest and transparent. Now, you're going to ask, how the heck am I going to know this when meeting this person for the first time, this buyer's agent? Well, guess what? The good news is that we have an internal BS meter in all of us. And if you're talking with somebody and they seem to be slick and things seem to be too good to be true and you feel kind of uneasy, it's probably your BS meter going off. So it's important when sitting down with a buyer's agent to ask them questions that they could substantiate with data. So number 6 is your agent must be responsive. So when communicating with this buyer's agent, especially in the beginning, I want you to pay attention to, when you call, do they answer? If they don't, do they respond back to your voicemail? If you text them, do they respond back quickly? And when you first meet with them and set up that first initial appointment, do they show up on time? And if you could say yes, yes to all of those questions, that's a good indicator that they are going to be responsive. Number 7 is your buyer's agent must understand the as-is contract. Now, the as-is contract is the big contract that binds the buyer and the seller. There's a lot of moving parts to it. So, milestone dates, phrases, terms, specific words that mean something. And if you check the wrong box or if you write the wrong information down, the buyer can lose their deposit, they can kill the deal, there's a lot that can go wrong. So it's important that the buyer's agent understands the contract. And I want to make this very clear. Unless the buyer's agent is also an attorney, they cannot interpret the contract. But at the very, very least, if a buyer has questions, they should be able to immediately refer the buyer to the specific section that could answer their question. Number 8 is your buyer's agent must be a master negotiator. Now, I did a separate video blog. Please refer to that because it goes into detail, I think, 4 crucial things that a master negotiator does. But overall, in the negotiating, how well a buyer's agent negotiates, really, that's how they earn their commission. And one thing you can ask a buyer's agent is, and this is a really good question, is, okay, so what have you helped a buyer purchase? What was the sales price? And then follow that question by, what was it appraised at? That will tell you if they are a master negotiator. Number 9, so you want your buyer's agent to be proactive versus reactive. I want to give you an example. So if a train is coming and you want to be able to get off the tracks before you're in danger, and there are going to be indicators that says a train is coming, whether it's smoke coming out of the top, whether it's the sound of a whistle, whether it's vibration of the tracks. There are always going to be indicators. The same is true in a real estate transaction. So there are milestone dates that a buyer's agent must understand. And if something is not going right with the lender, with the title company, with the buyer, with the seller, they need to be able to flesh out and understand exactly what the problem is and come up with solutions before a small problem becomes a bigger problem. And when you're proactive versus reactive, you're able, for the most part, you're able to come up with solutions and keep the transaction going smoothly. So those are the 9 crucial things to look for in a top-tier buyer's agent. Hope you enjoyed them. So if you're looking to purchase a home, I'd ask, give us a call at Casa Art Group. We really do a fantastic job for our clients. We take care of them. We're honest throughout the whole process, and we almost always find the perfect home well within budget. Okay, so that's my time. I wish you all good health and a happy home. Take care. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, go to our channel, hit subscribe, and ring that bell. Also, go to casaart.com. Here we have fantastic home searches, tips and tricks for buyers and sellers, community profiles, market insights, and much, much more. I promise that if you go to either one of those 2 things, you will get a lot out of it. All right, guys, that's my time. Have a great day.